BC's new drunk driving laws are barely a couple of months old, but the provincial government says it's going to look at whether some of the regulations warrant a U-turn. Solicitor-general Rich Coleman says he'll spend the next few months reviewing the laws, and changes could come as soon as the spring. What's behind the push to put the brakes on these laws? A News legislature reporter Shachi Curl explains.
Are BC's tough drunk driving laws about to get watered down? The government rolled out the changes in April. They took effect in September. Since then, drivers who are stopped with a blood alcohol level of 0.05 can face fines or have their cars impounded. That's even though they're well below the legal limit of 0.08. At the Swiftsure restaurant and lounge, bartenders say the new regulations have put a chill through regulars who already know where to draw the line.
They'd have one or two, but now they're just like, they're shy. They don't even want to go out and get harassed, or if they have there's a check stop or something and had one drink, then they just don't want any trouble, right? Since
the new regulations came in, there's a lot less liquid being poured at lunchtime. Restaurateurs say they're trying to make up the difference by selling more non-alcoholic beverages, but the impact has been undeniable.
Well, we're seeing restaurant sales down 20 to 30% as a result of the new drinking and driving regulations.
Even the government's own members say the new laws aren't going down so smooth with constituents.
It's clear that there's a bit of an issue there, and I think the Solicitor General would readily agree.
And under all that pressure, BC's top cop now says he'll consider changes.
I think that if there is some weaknesses that are identified, that we should have the ability to look at that going into the spring session.
Solicitor-general Rich Coleman says the real problem is that his government hasn't explained the new laws to British Columbians well enough.
Sometimes you get the urban myth that gets momentum, and people start talking about you can't even have one drink because you'll fail on the instrument and that sort of thing, and that just goes through public like wildfire.
But if the problems do lie with the law itself, changing them will be an embarrassing climb down for the government. After all, the changes were made in an effort to save people from the fate of little Alexa Middlear. The 4-year-old was killed by a woman convicted of drunk driving. Today, that woman, Carol Berner, was back in court for sentencing. Still, Swiftsure patron Lorraine Holt says she knows what she'd like to see.
I think they should just go back to 0.08. You know, that's all. Just go back to what it was.
And while that might put the happy back in happy hour across BC bars, the laws were also brought in to make the roads safer for everyone. It could come down to finding exactly the right mix.
Shachi Curl joins us live with more on the story. Shachi, has the new law been working?
Well, Eric, it's actually too soon to say. The BC government all along had said that its goal was to reduce the number of deaths from drunk drivers by 35% with these new regulations. And while the impact on the hospitality industry has been immediate and not particularly good, it was always clear from the outset that it was going to take some time for police departments and for the Ministry of Public Safety and the Solicitor General to actually determine whether or not the laws were working. So less than 2 months in, just over 2 full months in, they still don't know entirely. It's going to take a bit more time, and that's why Rich Coleman is saying that he's going to look at this over the next several months to actually determine whether or not it's been effective. Eric.
All right. Thank you, Shachi.
All right.
Shachi Curl.